All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show, Mastering Self-Confidence. I changed the name, and since I've changed the name, it seems like it's doing much better. So I'm going to stick with it. I've also been doing a lot of podcasts, just a heads up, recently with a co-host, Robert Beninati, a friend of mine who's a realtor actually out of Orlando, Florida. He does his own podcast, Real Business. So I'm doing some tests, to be honest with you. So I did a bunch, last couple months previously, I did a bunch of podcasts on Zoom with a bunch of different people that I wanted to interview throughout my life. Was able to do that. Excuse me. And then I started to do some podcasts with him, just me and him doing them in his office. And those are doing really well. So now I'm going to do a test with just me going back to my original style, which was either me just doing specific subjects, talking about them, and also maybe doing some interviews, but not necessarily doing them on video. I'm going back to mainly audio. I just want to bring that to your attention. And I'm going to also be probably doing a lot more with Robert because they're doing well. But this is just a test phase again. I may just be bouncing between the two of them for a while. But what I want to get into today is COVID. I don't even know what I want to name the title, but it's really starting to fucking aggravate me. Now, I'm the last person to sit here and say that COVID, I feel horrible for what it's done to a lot of people. Deaths, people getting sick and all that. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm getting aggravated at is people constantly telling me what the fuck I should and shouldn't do during this pandemic because I don't think most people know what they're talking about. All of a sudden, everyone's an expert or a scientist. Same with politics. I'm not going to get into politics. Everybody's telling me or society what we should and shouldn't think. Here's the deal. I don't trust anything I hear. I'd hate to say that, or I should say I take it with a grain of salt. My father used to have a saying, don't believe half of what you see in anything, what you hear, or wait, how's that saying? I'm screwing it up. Don't believe half of what you see in anything you hear, something like that. And that doesn't mean that a lot of things I'm hearing aren't truthful. I believe a lot of things are, but you have to realize a lot of things you're hearing are full of shit. I'd say there's more full of shit than truth right now, especially between the media, social media, just discussions I have with people. What else is aggravating me, I sound like a bitch here, is people, if you disagree, they become disrespectful. I even sometimes catch myself starting to become disrespectful, which aggravates me even more because now I'm acting like a jagoff because I've almost given them the authority for me now to become so angry or aggravated that now I'm lashing out, which shows how ridiculous I am for even letting them do that, regardless what the subject matter is. So what I kind of want to get into this is really, I always talk about self-awareness, and you may be burnt out on me talking about that if you listen to me, but I'm going to tell you something. The more self-aware you become in your behavior, I promise you the better off you're going to be. But here's the thing. At the beginning, the more you start to realize sometimes what a goof or how unintelligent you are regarding certain things, not everything, but the way you also react to certain things, it's kind of mind-boggling because a lot of people like to call other people out on their bullshit, but don't realize any of theirs. And I really realized this with my first film when I shot it, and my behavior in the film and I've discussed this on my other podcast. Sorry if this got a little redundant, but I think this goes way back. I saw the way I act, even, and it was, even though it was scripted, right? A lot of stuff we would do, improvise, and there was behind the scenes stuff, and I was shocked at my behavior. If somebody walked around with a camera for the day and recorded you, the way you just starting from morning to night, you probably would be shocked at the way you walk, talk, act, respond to people, the mood swings, frustrations, how you're getting aggravated, then you're happy. And I really think this has really been magnified during COVID. I've been going through this. I don't know if you have. I talk about this a lot on my YouTube videos regarding working out, having good days, good weeks, bad weeks, good months, bad months, and years. It goes on and on and on. But now it seems, I'm not saying they're all bad. They're just very aggravating as each day goes on. And I was almost going to call this podcast, Is COVID Destroying Your Confidence? Because if you know anything about me, I try to help men master their self-confidence. But I was on the fence regarding that. But I do think a lot of people, men and women, are losing a lot of confidence in a lot of things. It could be with their jobs, if they are work-related, if they got let go, furloughed. I think all the negativity regarding our country. I think you kind of, I can't say you lose confidence in that, but it kind of depresses you or makes you just feel like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, the truth is there's a lot of chaos going on out there, and not a lot of people want to either talk about it or address it. And when you're allowing people to destroy other people's property, personal or business, that's bullshit. I don't fucking go for that shit. You know what I mean? I don't care what you think you're doing. You don't have a right to do that. You also don't have a right to hurt others. Now, if you're in the military and wars and all that, that's a different thing. I'm talking about what's going on in our country, about disrespecting other people's possessions and their bodies. It's just unbelievable that people would do that to other people. I thought as a society, as we'd get older, I guess, or as time went on, we'd become more sophisticated. I almost look at things and think we're reverting and going backwards. I don't know how things got so nuts. And even when it comes back to COVID, people telling me, now listen, I wear a mask. I wear it out of respect. I know some people don't believe it. Some do. Some get angry. Well, I don't give a fuck what you necessarily do. And I definitely don't want to get others sick, okay? So I wear the mask. Do I believe in it wholeheartedly? I don't know. But sometimes in life, and you may think the mask gets you sick instead of helps you. Okay, I got you on that one. But again, out of respect for others, I do wear the mask. I'll tell you why, one of the reasons. And my girlfriend Rhea brought it up. And I believe in what she said. If you went in for a surgery, okay, and the doctor wasn't wearing a mask, I think you'd be probably a little rattled. Maybe you wouldn't. Or say he wasn't wearing gloves. And I'm not saying we got to wear gloves, but I'm saying when they do surgeries or when they try to protect people or sterilize, they wear masks, right? They wear gloves. They cover up. If that's all it's going to take to settle things down, I'm 100% behind it. What aggravates me, though, is when people, I guess you could say, are kind of getting crazy or in fist fights or screaming matches, all these things over wearing a mask. Now, again, I am not setting the laws. It's almost like saying a speed limit is 55, and I am very aggravated, and I refuse to drive 55. I want to drive 80. You get a ticket. You can fight all you want. A lot of times you're just not going to win. It's just the way things are in life. I'm sorry. And back to the masks. I'm going to jump off this. This is aggravating me even talking about it. But just for respect, I wear the mask. If you are losing your mind over wearing a mask, again, become self-aware and say, what the fuck what am I talking about here? What am I doing? Is this mask actually getting me to the point where I have to comment online, argue with people, screaming matches? It's not worth it. I'm just telling you right now, most of the shit, hold on. I had to get some water. Most of the things I realized that we're arguing over during COVID again is a waste of time and breath. Not everything, but a lot of it is bullshitty. Don't fall for it, especially back to social media. If you catch yourself unfriending friends that you love or family members or colleagues over their political opinions, again, you have the right to do that. And sometimes a lot of these people are going too far. I get it. But if you know them personally and you love them, and they're kind of huffy-puffy, I call it online, or trash talking, whatever, posting things, even let it go. Do not, you can, you can quiet them down. What's that called? Snooze them. I won't unfriend them unless they're totally out of line. But the reality is, I think when people are posting things, they're kind of venting. That's not always who they are. I have friends on Facebook really on both sides. I'll just use for an example because I lived in California for a while and I was making films. I have a lot of people on, I guess you could say, the left that live in LA or, California in general, friends in New York, and then I had a lot of friends say I lived in Florida. And I'm from Chicago too. A lot of Democrats or whatever on the right. I lived in Florida since 18. A lot of Republicans on that side or to the right or whatever you call. I see it from both ends. But I can understand where they're coming from. Now, not always, right? I'm not going to say I agree with everybody regarding everything. And a lot of things I don't agree with. Again, is it worth me getting in a beef over with during COVID? Because it seems to me, I don't know what's happening, but during this virus, at the beginning, we all kind of came together. I really do. When there was kind of a lockdown, there were curfews, and I really think we were all out trying to help one another. But I don't know where it turned on its head and became nuts. And I don't know if that's maybe financial stress or people being locked in for too long, or again, I know there's an election coming up. But please pay attention to, this is just, I really do think this is a phase. Is things going to get better? I don't know. Are things going to get worse? I don't know. All I know is I'm going to try to do the best I can. And I'm truly about helping others, not hurting others. And if you're somebody who believes in that, and you may not, you may be like, I'm out for mine. I get that too. You may be like, F everyone else. I get that too. You could be any way you want to be. But I'm just saying, if you do respect yourself, and I think your family members, friends, and colleagues, respecting others, lead by example. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think a lot of people do that. And I do think, no matter who you are, I think when you get to a certain point when you've had enough, you kind of flip out, and I understand that completely. And so the bottom line here, at least for me, is I'm trying to keep these podcasts under 15 minutes. Please just, respect one another. And I think I said it earlier, just because you disagree doesn't mean you have to disrespect. All right? I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to check out my YouTube video, I've been doing a lot of videos on there regarding fitness, many other things too. What would I say? I have a lot of stuff on there regarding travel, my favorite coffee places still, mall tours, which is hilarious. I'm getting a tremendous amount of views with my crazy mall tours, especially one that I did in Mall of America, which is hysterical. And I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you've been following me or listening to my podcast, I can't believe in October it's coming up on 2 years. I may even do a podcast on that next. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I never really had an idea I'd be doing this. I started doing it 10, 11 years ago. We just started doing something, and then I stopped for a decade, and then one of my buddies, engineer guys, said, Rich, let's do it again, but just do it this way. And I'm just experimenting always. So if you want to check out just my webpage, richcelenza.com, and that will lead you also to my program, masteringselfconfidence.com. So take care, and don't let this shit make you crazy. It's crazy, right? Right, that's it. That's all I could say. You got any questions or comments or whatever, reach out to me, man. All right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.